Shalom, 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 Yasha Allah, it's your brother Nehemiah, Ak Nehemiah from Nations and Kings and Priests, No Cap Cali section. All right, and we back at you with another Friday class. It's not the Shabbat yet on my end. As you can see, we have the sun still up. All right, but we back at you again, shooting the Most High's precepts at you again. All right. So with that being said, like I said again, it's your brother Nehemiah, Ak Nehemiah from Nations and Kings and Priests, No Cap Cali section. All right, and the topic of this class is the vow, part 3, the ending of the Nazarite vow and the ending of any vow. So we're going to talk about how to end your vow in Hamashiach, how to end your vow in the Most High through Hamashiach, right? And it's very simple. It's very simple on how to end your vow. Right. It's not difficult at all. If you see the first part, you already let you know how to end your vow in Hamashiach, right? But there's more to it than just that. So I'm going to expound on that. That's one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to expound on that. All right. So with that being said, let me set this up real quick and let me get to share my screen. And we're going to get right to it. All right. We're going to get right to it. Let me share my screen real quick. Salak, give me 1 second. We're going to share this. All right. If there's any lagging on my end, Babu Shah, drop it in the comment. Let me know if there's any lagging or anything like that so I can know. The water rabah ahead of time. That means thank you so much or thank you greatly. So 1 second. All right. All right. So we're going to start off with the book of Numbers. We're going to go over again what a vow is, right? So we're going to start off with the book of Numbers, chapter 30. All right. The book of Numbers, chapter 30. We're going to start at verse 1. All right. So this is the book of Numbers, chapter 30, verse 1. And Masha spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Yasharallah, saying, this is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. If a man vow a vow unto the Adawan, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. Right? So when you vow a vow or when you swear an oath, you are bonded to what you said. It is a legal contract in the Most High. You said it, you pay for it, you fulfill it. All right. So if any man vow a vow unto the Adawan or swear an oath to bind his soul with the bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. Right? So with that being said, just wanted to reiterate on what a vow is. A vow is a promise. All right. Like I said before, whether you speaking it to somebody or whether you initiated it between you and the Most High, it is a promise to the Most High, or it is a promise to someone else. Right? Now, let's get into how we are going to end, specifically first the Nazarite vow, and then secondly, any vow to come after that, right? So let's get into it. Let's go to the book of Numbers. Let's go ahead and go to verse 6, chapter 6, Salaklaya. Chapter 6, right? Let me check to see if any other cameras coming in here so I can make sure. Okay, con. We good. Start at verse 1. And it reads, And the Adawan spake unto Masha, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When either man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite, to separate themselves unto the Adawan, he shall separate himself from wine and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar of wine or vinegar of strong drink, neither shall the drink, neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dried. Right? I've broken all this down in the first video, so we're not going to go into the breakdown of any of that. I'm going to read all the way through until I get to the point of where we're going to expound on that. Verse 4. All the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree, from the kernels even to the husk. Of the vow of his separation, there shall no razor come upon his head until the days be fulfilled in which he separateth himself unto the Adawan. He shall be holy, or Quadash, and shall let the locks of the hair of his head grow. All the days that he separated himself unto the Adawan, he shall come at no dead body. He shall not make himself unclean for his father or Abba, or for his mother or Amma, for his Ak or brother, or for his Akwak or sister, when they die, because the consecration of his Alahayim or Alahayaka is upon his head. All the days of his separation he is holy unto the Lord, unto the Adawan. Verse 9. And if any man die very suddenly by him, and he hath defiled the head of his consecration, then he shall shave his head in the day of his cleansing. On the seventh day shall he shave it. Right? So after this verse, specifically talking about if somebody was to drop dead next to you, if you have a Nazarite vow, these are the sacrifices you have to do pertaining to that specific situation, right? Verse 10. And on the eighth day, he shall bring two turtle dove or two turtles or two young pigeons to the priest or Kahan to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest or Kahan shall offer the one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering, and make an atonement for him, for that he sinned by the dead, and shall hallow his head that same day. Right? So we have, if somebody was to drop dead next to you, you have to wait till the eighth day to shave your head. Then after that, Salaklia, on the seventh day, you shall shave your head, shave your locks. And on the eighth day, these are when the offerings are going to be brought to the Most High. Specifically speaking on if somebody was to drop dead next to you. Remember that. Keep it in. We got to keep it in context, right? So one of the offerings is a sin offering. The other is a burnt offering, right? And then verse 12 is going to let us know what other offering there is. And he shall consecrate unto the Adawan, or Lord, the days of his separation, and shall bring a lamb of the first year for a trespass offering. That's the third offering, specifically speaking on if somebody was to drop dead next to you. But the days that were before shall be lost, because his separation was defiled. Right? Now, this is the point we're getting to right here. This is the point we're getting to. and it's going to lead into me expounding on how to end your Nazarite vow or any vow at all. All right. So, hey, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. Salaklia. Seem like my thing is going a little slow. But Salaklia. Let me add the Ak in here real quick. Hey, Shalom, Ak. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. Wa Mashbachaka. Can you hear me?
Hey, Shalom. Can hear you perfectly. Yahweh Shem Shabbat. Shabbat
Love you.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Ak. And again, Shabbat Shalom. Uh, was it? I'm trying to learn how to pronounce your name. I'm used to seeing it in Paleo. So Yeshaya or Yeshayahu. Shabbat Shalom. Yahbashim Yahshai Barakatah wa Mashbachaka, meaning to bless you and your family, right? Wa meaning and. Anytime you hear the word wa in front of a word, 9 times out of 10 it means and. And you already know Mashbacha means family. All right. Shabbat Shalom. I hope you enjoying your Shabbat. So with that being said, let's finish out. This is the point on Numbers chapter 6 and verse 13. Now, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna say it again. This we're gonna get into how to end your vow in Hamashiach. How do you end it? Now, 13 on down, it's gonna talk about offerings, it's gonna talk about a whole lot of stuff. And then after that, that's when I'm going to show you what and how you end your vow. The Nazarite vow or any vow that you make. So this is the book of Numbers, chapter 6 and verse 13. And this is the law of the Nazarite. When the days of his separation are fulfilled, right? When you have fulfilled your Nazarite vow, this is what you have to do. But also keep in mind, are we able to do any of these things that are going to be listed hereafter? He shall be brought unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and he shall offer his offering unto the Adawan, or Lord, one he lamb of the first year without blemish for a burnt offering, and one ewe lamb of the first year without blemish for a sin offering, and one lamb without blemish for peace offerings. Verse 15, and a basket of unleavened bread, meaning there's no yeast in it, cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, and wafers of unleavened bread anointed with oil, and their meat offering and their drink offerings. And the priest shall bring them before the Adawan, or Lord, and shall offer his sin offering and his burnt offering. And he shall offer the ram for a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Adawan, or Lord, with the basket of unleavened bread. The Kahan, or priest, shall offer also his meat offering and his drink offering. So we got a lot of offerings that we have to offer: a peace offering, a sin offering, a drink offering, a meat offering, right? Verse 18. And the Nazarite shall shave the head of his separation at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall take the hair of the head of his separation and put it in the which and put it in the fire which is under the sacrifice of the peace offerings. And the priest, or Kahan, shall take the sodden shoulder of the ram, and one unleavened cake of the basket, and one unleavened wafer, and shall put them upon the hands of the Nazarite after the hair of his separation is shaven. And the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before the Adawan, or Lord. This is Kodash, or holy, for the Kahan, or priest, with the wave breast and heave shoulder. And after that, the Nazarite may drink wine. Verse 21. This is the law of the Nazarite who hath vowed, and of his offering unto the Adawan for his separation, besides that his hand shall get according to the vow which he vowed. So he must do after the law of his separation. Right. So from verse 13 all the way down to verse 21, we have offerings. We have a plethora of offerings and specific ways on how to do these offerings, and the priest has to be there, right? So lock in, make sure nobody else is coming in, and we are good. So there's a lot of things that have to be done when you're ending your Nazarite vow or when you're ending any vow, right? So we went over in the beginning and on the vow, the very first part that we did 2 weeks ago. Whatever you vow, you have to pay. Doesn't even have to be the Nazarite vow, but you're going to end it all the same. Whether it's a Nazarite vow, whether it's a vow of you're going to stay celibate until you get married, so on and so forth. Right? It's all going to be ended the same exact way. So, with that being said, my question to the audience is, can we do any of what we just read in order to end our Nazarite vow? If you're watching, just think to yourself, answer it to yourself, or you can drop it in the comments.
It's a
If you
good
think,
question.
are we able? Yeah, are we exactly right? Because it says, let's start back let's go back to Numbers 6 and 13. Right? So likely I scrolled up too much. So this is a question because we already know throughout the nation, right? Oh, we don't have the temple. We don't have the temple. We don't have the temple. And we don't. Right? So let's read verse 13 again. And this is the law. I mean, this is it's a law, it has to be done. But are we able to do it? No. You're not able to do any of the offerings or any of the sacrifices. We're not able to because we don't have the temple. And this is the law of the Nazarite. When the days of his separation are fulfilled, he shall, meaning you have to do it, be brought unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. That's no longer here. We don't have it. So we can't do any of these things on a physical level in the temple or in the tabernacle of the congregation. We can't do it. So that's my question to you. We can't do it. How do we end it? Well, precept upon precept, precept upon precept, shooting the scriptures at you. And let's go to it. Let's go to how you end your Nazarite vow or or any vow that you promise to the most high or promise to anyone. So we're gonna go to the book of Sirach. I'm going off my memory. I think it's chapter 36. I think it's chapter 36. No, it's not. I think it's 34. Let's see. Sometimes you gotta test your memory to see to make sure if it's still if you got it. Yeah. No. Can you still hear me out?
Con, loud and clear.
Okay. It's just my laptop is going tremendously slow right now. So Salak, give me a second. And I think it's I'm trying to remember where the scripture at, and I think it is in 36. I think I just might be missing it.
How's it go?
So let me see. I think it's 36. I swear. He that I have it right here. One second. I'll be trying to do the things through the spirit instead of having some things already pre-planned. But this is what we're gonna do. But it's in Sirach. and that's the very first verse in Salakia 35. I was one chapter off. Sirach chapter. It's a book of Sirach chapter 35. Okay, before I call it out, how do we end the Nazarite vow or any vow overall? How do we end it? We don't have the temple. The tabernacle of the congregation isn't here. We don't have lambs. We don't even know how to we really don't even know how to do peace offerings, sins offerings, trespass offerings, burnt offerings. We read about it, but we've never actually done it before. Through the spirit we have, but physically we haven't, because we can't do it physically. So to answer that question, this is how you end the Nazarite vow or any vow at all. This is how you end it, right? Firstly, I want to say this is through prayer. Once you say something and you know according to the law that you have to fulfill it and you have to pay it. No ifs, no ands, no buts. And if you don't, it is a sin. The first thing is how you're going to end your prayer is your vow is through prayer first. The way you went into a vow is by uttering out of your lips. The way you end a vow is by uttering out of your lips. You're going to do it through Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, the Most High, and uh so-called Jesus. I don't like saying that word at all. But for people who are watching that don't know the name Yahweh Shai, I wanted to say that. So you will end it with the uttering of your lips, which is the fulfillment. And you're gonna do it through Hamashiach, giving reverence to Hamashiach, right? And this is how you will end it. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 35 and verse 1. Because we know in Numbers, in Numbers 6th chapter, verse 13, it is a law. The Nazarite vow is a law. So if you enter into that, you have to keep that because it's a law. So this is how you end it. The Nazarite vow or any vow. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 35, verses 1. He that keepeth the law bringeth offerings enough. He that taketh heed to the commandment offereth a peace offering. That's one of the offerings that we're supposed to do when we fulfill a Nazarite vow or any vow. Or if you're a Nazarite and somebody dropped dead right next to you, your consecration is now defiled, and one of the offerings that you have to offer is a peace offering. Verse 2, he that requiteth a good turn offereth fine flour, and he that giveth alms sacrificeth praise. So how you end your Nazarite vow or any vow that you have, this is how you do it. You continue to keep the law. The law in the first 5 books, which Hamashiach always spoke on, and the commandment of out of and the commandments out of Hamashiach's mouth. That's how you end it. Prayer, uttering out of your lips that you end it, that you're ending it with Bahashim or Bashem Hamashiach, however you want to say it, Bashem, giving reverence and continue to keeping the law. It's that simple. It's not difficult. It's that simple. I'm gonna read it again. Sirach chapter 35 and verses 1 through 2. He that keepeth the law, the Nazarite vow being a law, if you enter into it, bringeth offerings enough. Offerings. So all the offerings we read through in Numbers chapter 6, verses 13 through 21, by you keeping the law, because we can't physically offer up those offerings in the temple, you keeping the law is bringing offerings enough. That's how you end it. Prayer, reverence in Hamashiach, and continue to keep in the law. That's it. He that taketh heed to the commandment offereth a peace offering. He that requiteth a good turn offereth fine flour, and he that giveth alms sacrificeth praise. So that's how you end it. That's how you end it. Akim wa Akwathian. brothers and sisters. That's what I just said in the Hebrew. That's how you end it. It's simplicity. The scriptures are very simple. So if you have a Nazarite vow, don't fear. How am I supposed to end it? I can't do this. I can't do that. Don't fear. The answer is right here. The Most High got you, and there it go. So with that, hey Shalom, Maki. How about Shemi Awashai Barakatah wa Mashbachaka? All praise to the Most High, Masha, the water, for tuning in. So
Got
with that,
a
I'm gonna stop sharing
precept,
my
if
screen.
I could.
You had something?
Yeah, I got a precept to kind of go with what you're saying,
Go
brother.
ahead.
Um, so yeah, what you were bringing, like how you were saying, like the word, and then the vow, and then ending it, and then how we ended in prayer, uh, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. That is very important, right? So
Uh,
when you were talking, this scripture came to my mind. It was
Here,
Colossians.
let me go to
Uh,
it real quick. I'll go to it so that everybody can see.
Colossians
Got you.
3.
1 second.
And I don't know if I want to start at
Colossians.
verse 16, but we'll
Let
start
me
at
pull it up.
16.
Colossians 1.
Colossians 3 and 16. We'll start there.
All right, let me share this real quick. It's time for a new laptop for me. I think it's just my laptop because it's so old that it goes so slow, no matter how much I clean it. So let's do it. Colossians 3:16. Can you see my screen?
Con. No, wait a
All
minute.
right.
That was mine. I can't see your screen.
Go ahead. You want me to
Okay,
read for you?
now I can. Okay.
Can you see it now?
Yeah,
All right,
Con. Yeah,
I'll read
Con.
it for
I
you.
appreciate it. Go ahead.
It's the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 16. Let the word of a Mashiach dwell in you richly in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing with grace in your hearts to the Adawan.
Right, because
And
the whole
whatsoever ye do it, Salah.
Salakia, what I was gonna say, I was gonna start at verse 17, but verse 16 kind of pivots to what you were saying, man. In dwelling with the word, being disciplined, having moral honor. These are things that our forefathers, abided in, and a Mashiach embodied. You
Khan,
know, So, especially when Christ came on the scene, teaching us, a different way, a better way than what we were doing. You know, when it says a shadow of things to come, man, they didn't understand him. You
Khan,
know, he was the epitome of Salakia. I hate referring him in past tense, but
right?
they referred him to, they didn't understand him basically.
Right,
So when he was teaching them, they were like, man, what is this? So when we're talking about spiritual things, you ain't got to teach me, it's like you ain't got to teach me the wrong of the law.
Khan,
What we need to start really teaching each other is the right of the spirit, and
right,
that is extremely important, because we look too much on the letter and not the spirit. And what I mean by that is not that we don't need the letter, but that we need to understand the spirit behind the letter.
mm-hmm,
Christ embodied all that. So
mm-hmm,
when we vow a vow, that means you keep your word. That
mm-hmm,
means you do what you say. And one thing about us, knuckleheads that are in the world, and I was
mm-hmm.
one of them too, we never kept our word. The Lord teaches us how to keep our words and keep our vow, especially unto Him. He literally had a law based
Yeah.
on a vow. I
Yeah.
mean, we talking about, the temple, we talking about dietary, we talking about civil, we're talking about marriage, but he also incorporated a law about vowing, keeping our word. And that
Promises.
is something that as brothers, and I know, my brother Nehemiah is an honorable brother. We keep our word, man. I'm gonna say, hey, if I can't do it, I'm gonna say I can't do it. I'll be
That's
honest
right.
with you, bro. It just ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. I say that it's ugly. I can't do nothing right now. Like Salachlaya. You
Right,
know what I'm
right,
saying?
right, 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 right.
But you have to learn how to say no if you can't do anything, because you have to realize it's a sin if you don't do it.
Yo, Amashiach said it. You brought it up plenty of times in this class or in the series.
God.
Let your nays be nays and your yeas be nays. Anything else is what? Is
Mhm.
evil.
Exactly. That's why I said in the first video, just don't vow at all. If I would have
Right.
came across Matthew 5, I would have been like, "Oh, well, that's Hamashiach. I ain't even finna do that thing," because he knows, but he was here. He is the wisdom of the Most High. When you read Sirach 1 and 4, and it says wisdom was be created before all things, that's Hamashiach.
That's Amashiach.
Link it up with Proverbs 8.
Right, right,
So he know when he say don't do it, just don't do it. Don't even try to get around it, And if you don't want to listen to that wisdom, then hey, you first of all, you already going off by not listening to him,
right.
you know. But the water rabah for breaking that out. That's mighty. Did you want me to read 17 too?
But Baba Kasha, let's read 17 because that's the point that I wanted to bring out while you were saying
Con
what you were saying. Go ahead.
Con Colossians chapter 3 verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed,
Salakia, what?
and whatsoever ye do in word or deed.
In word or deed.
Mm-hmm.
That's a vow right there. What's your word?
Your word
What you
is
say.
bond, according
Right. What
to
do we say? Word is your bond.
mhm. And what
Like
is
anything else, it goes against that. It's you got it. You got it, man. I can't tell you how important I tell my bonds. If you say something, you do it. Because point and point, reputation is your word.
yes.
You keep it. And indeed, right? So
hmm
now read on.
Do all in the name of the Adawan Yahawashai, giving thanks to Allahayim and the Abba or Father by him.
So all things in the name of a Mashiach
hmm
and giving thanks to Yahweh.
That's right.
Right? So when we end that vow, that's how we do it.
hmm
And in all things, and we do it through him because he is the temple. We do it through Yahweh because can no temple hold the most high?
hmm
And the kingdom is in us, man. So we represent him, you know.
Con,
So when we vow that, it has to go through him, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. With that, I yield that.
Con. Also, it made me think about as well. When he said he created and we created man in our image, right? So when the Most High says something, he always does it. Everything he say is a vow, is a promise. Like when we got
Right,
punished, he said, "And I will send my enemies against you." That was a vow, and he fulfilled it. Everything that come out the Most High mouth is 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 going to be fulfilled.
right,
So everything that he speaks is a promise. So if we created in his image and he's let this, and we're supposed to walk like him, like Hamashiach, and be like them both, that means we have to fulfill, right? It also another thought came to mind too, is when you think about a vow, the vow, a covenant and a vow are very, very similar. It's really kind of hard to bring them apart. If you ask me, they are the same because within a covenant, you promise to do these stipulations. When you matter of fact, let me just go ahead and show you real quick, and then we'll close out. So when we took that vow in Exodus chapter 24, verses 1 through 8, I'm just gonna read it real quick. It's the book of Exodus chapter 24, verse 1, and it reads, "And he said unto Masha, come up unto the Adawan, or Salaklia, come up unto Adawan." Dang, that's weird how they have it on my thing. Come up, and Aharon, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Yasharallah, and worship ye afar off. And Masha alone shall come near the Adawan, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. And Masha came and told the people all the words of the Adawan, and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which the Adawan hath said, we will do. You just uttered that. When we were entering into the covenant, you uttered with your words all that he said, we will do. You entered into a vow. And this is the covenant. So there's no difference. There's no difference. It's interchangeable. So it just made me think about that. With a vow is very, very correlative to the covenant that we establish would be, and because those the covenant has stipulations. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this, you have to do that. The vow is the same thing. You promise to do this, you have to do it. So with that being said, it's your brother Nehemiah, Nehemiah from Nations and Kings and Priests, No Cap Cali section. Oh, Salaklia. We got a few more precepts in here from Masha. Masha real quick. One
Mighty
second, Masha.
Mashah.
We'll grab your precepts real quick, Masha. 1 second. Let me get it all. Let me get it all together. 2 Samuel 23 and 2. Let's go there real quick. 2 Samuel 23 and 2. Bring that out. 2 Samuel chapter 23 and verse 2. And it reads, the spirit of the Adawan spake by me, and his word was in my tongue. That's right. I'm going to read verse 3. The Alahayim of Israel said, the rocks of Yasharallah spake to me. He that ruleth over men must be just, ruling in the fear of Alahayim. That verse 2 is mighty right there. The spirit of the Adawan spake by me, and his word was in my tongue. And it goes back to uttering with your lips, right? All praises to the Most High for bringing that precept out. That's a mighty precept. And let's go ahead and get the other one that you had over here. And he had a Galatians chapter, was that 5 verses 23 to 23. Let's go ahead and grab that real quick before we head up out of here. And Shabbat Shalom to all the Akyem wa Akwath Yan. If your Shabbat already started on your end, I hope you're enjoying it. All right, Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 through 23. And it reads, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. Right? So these are the things when you do a vow, right? Or you swear an oath, it encompasses all this right here. It encompasses all this right here. Because through a vow, depending on the time frame of it, it's going to require you to be long suffering. With the vow or an oath, it's going to require you to be peaceful. right? It's going to require you to be loving. Why? Because if you don't fulfill it, you don't love yourself or the Most High, right? It's going to require you to be gentle. Yes, because one wrong move, you off into sin. It's going to require you to be good. We know according to Romans 7 and 14 or 12, the law is good, right? And it's going to require faith. Why? Because you have to fulfill it. Faith without works is dead. So while you're working within your vow, it shows your faith. It's going to require that. It's going to require meekness, being humble throughout that whole process, because that vow, after you enter into it, depending on what kind of vow it is, it might humble you, especially if you didn't really see it at, especially if you thought it was going to be a cakewalk, and it starts to, wear on you, not wear you down into where like you don't want to do it, but it'll humble you in a way to where like, okay, you can't just be saying anything, any and everything. Like some Akim told me, I'd be careful what you pray for because you just might get it, right? It's gonna require you temperance. It's gonna require all that. So the water Ak for bringing that out, Masha and Shabbat Shalom, Salakia. Shabbat Shalom, Lakayla, Shabbat Shalom, Makwath, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Barakatah, Mashbachaka. I hope all is well in your gates. Hope all is well in your gates. All right. So with that being said, it's your brother Nehemiah, Ak Nehemiah from Nations and Kings and Priests. No Cap Cali section. All right. Ak, you got something that you wanted to bring out before we get up out of here?
La, all praise to the Most High.
Shabbat Shalom to all the Akim wa Akwathian and the nation of Yasha Allah. And with that, like we always do, we shoot the most high precepts at you day in, day out, on the highways and byways, on the internet highways and byways, doing a fire mission, doing anything that we can do that requires magnifying and uplifting the name of Yahweh by Yahweh Shah. That's what we're gonna do. All right. Shalom.
Shalom.